Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chen Devine, and I am a proud Mowgli mom of Daniel and Panther. Before I get to the heart of this talk, I want to share my favorite Mowgli story. It demonstrates the exact moment I truly came to believe that Mowgli is a magical place, which actually happened after I had already decided to send Daniel here and after drop off that first year. Many of you likely know that Daniel has an older sister and she's at Onaway. She's actually graduating tonight, woo. And she was going to be returning to Onaway for her second summer. And I'm like, what am I going to do with Daniel for 7 weeks without a sibling to entertain him? And my husband and I still work. So I thought about it and I got introduced to Director Nick and we decided to check out the Cub program. So Daniel had just turned 8 and he qualified to come as a Cub. And we talked about it and we decided that he would try it for 3 weeks. And when I came up to visit for Onaway Fair weekend, I'd take him home. So imagine my surprise when on the second or third day of camp, I got a text message from Director Nick. And it was a picture of a postcard because Daniel's handwriting at that time was so big that it overflowed the bounds of the postcard and it wouldn't be able to be sent via regular mail. And the postcard said this, and I quote, "Dear Mom, first day was the best. Most of the day I played Gaga. Can I stay 7 weeks? For I'm having so much fun. I hope you are too. Love, Daniel." I actually had to call Director Nick and make sure that Daniel wrote that himself and not under coercion. And then I had to ask Director Nick, what would it look like to leave him here for 7 weeks? We hadn't planned for it. We hadn't prepared for it. And after only a few minutes, the decision was made and he ended up staying all 7 weeks. But the moment that I got that picture and had that conversation with Director Nick, that's when I knew. I didn't know exactly what was so special about Mowgli to compel him to send that postcard after only 2 days. It wasn't about playing Gaga. You can play that anywhere. But my gut was telling me that what actually inspired him to write it and what inspired Director Nick to reach out to me as a mom who was nervous, that was the something magical that was afoot. So ever since then, I decided that whenever I came to visit Mowgli, whether it be for drop-off, parents' weekend, crew weekend, I decided to carefully observe everyone and everything around me. And now I want to share with you a few of the things that I've noticed over the years. I've seen really shy, quiet boys grow into confident social leaders among their peers. I've seen dynamic, outspoken boys willingly take a step back to let someone else share the spotlight. I've seen groups of boys from all different walks of life whom you might never expect to see hanging out together become the best of friends. I've seen boys take a risk in an activity they weren't interested in, only to discover a brand new passion. I've seen boys set goals, work towards them, and be congratulated by everyone around them, whether or not they actually made the goal, because their effort is what deserved that acknowledgement. I've seen boys, arms around each other, swinging and singing words extolling the virtues of thinking not of yourself, but of those around you. I've seen boys become young men of whom everyone and anyone would be proud. To summarize, I guess that even though I've really only had a few short moments here and there each summer to see all of you in action, what I'm saying is that I clearly see all of you upholding the Mowgli core values: kindness, respect, generosity, humility, leadership, and service. And that's magic. So why am I sharing with you what you already know, that Mowgli is a special magical place? It's because I want to help emphasize just how important that is and how important each of you are. This world can be a really scary place sometimes. And I don't mean scary in a horror movie way or a 6 o'clock news kind of way. I mean just regular, everyday scary situations, like going to a new school for the first time, moving to a new city or state or country, walking down a deserted street at night, having a car break down on the side of the road, getting lost in a crowded place, or falling down and hurting yourself. These are things that happen every day. And as I look at each of you, from our youngest cubs to the denites and junior staff, I am telling you that when any of those situations occur, I would hands down prefer to find myself in that situation with a Mowgli man nearby. The world needs all of you. Whatever communities you find yourselves in when you're not at Mowgli, those communities need you, and they need you to bring with you all that you have learned and all that you have become right here during these 7 weeks. And don't let the magic of camp only happen at camp. It's awesome that these 7 weeks gave you a tech-free chance to connect with yourselves, each other, and the natural environment around you. But you're going back to a world where you have phones and email and many, many different ways to stay in touch. Stay in touch with each other all throughout the year. Stay in touch with the campers who came before you. And when you are the alumni who come back to visit for crew or other events, make sure you connect with and then stay in touch with the campers who come after you. Stay in touch with Director Nick, Mr. Galitti, and Coach G. They're keeping Mowgli safe and strong for you. And not only would it make them happy to know how you're doing, it would also be good for you to remember to ask them how you can help them. Because I will leave you with a final reminder that to me embodies everything I know and have observed about Mowgli. And that reminder is, for the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. You are the Mowgli pack. You are each other's strength, and each and every one of you makes Mowgli the best, strongest camp in the world. Thank you, and happy hunting.